Testing, testing, one, two, three. Good morning, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Thank you for joining us today. Sound check. As you come in, if you could like the live stream and let me know how the sound is on your side. Okay, let's see who we have here. Good morning, Trader Boy. XMT, good morning. Thank you for the sound check. Chris, thank you for joining us today. How are we feeling today? We had a nice news driver and price. Oh, sorry. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, one moment. All right. Hope you can see the screen now. Looks like everything is okay. Perfect. All right, one moment. Let me mute this. Getting a little feedback. All right. Okay, guys. So we've had a big push this morning up into our daily fair value gap and into a 1 hour gap. So we've had a lot of liquidity taken. We have our London highs still above us. And but we've taken the London low. So now we're just right here in the equilibrium of things, of this big push up. We're right in the midpoint of the London range, right here at the equilibrium and around the midnight opening gap. I'm sorry, the midnight open. Our new day open gap is around here at 970, and that's from our regular trading hour. So let's see here. So right now we just kind of want to see what's going on. We have a mitigation block that we just closed below. So we could see some more downside. Let's take a look at the daily real quick just to see what happened yesterday and so far overnight. Bearish order flow is still being respected. Our bearish breaker is still being respected. We created another bearish order block here and here. So price just tapped the top of this bearish order block, which happens to line up with the daily fair value gap. We rejected out this area so far, so we could see some downside momentum. I've already marked out the mean threshold of yesterday's candle for us and the previous day low. We've already taken the previous day high overnight. Let's look at the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we have created we came down and took liquidity from some daily levels as well as 1 and 4 hour lows. So right now, currently, this is our 1 hour bullish breaker. Price can come into this zone to reject up, but we've also hit the mean threshold of a daily fair value gap, which could send price down. So we're just bouncing in between higher time frame levels from bearish to bullish. And we just have to see what price wants to do. Do we want to have a forceful push out of this area or past this low? Right now, we're just consolidating right here in the middle. So That's one of the reasons why I say when you're looking at daily bias, you want to look at the overall order flow, of course, but during the day, intraday, price can do whatever it wants to do because it is in between such levels. So this is our dealing range high and our dealing range low on the 15-minute. We're hovering right here in the middle, and we want to see some nice displacement out of this range or toward the bottom out of the range. But currently we have mitigated this bearish push down, and we're seeing resistance right here at the daily fair value gap. Our last bullish breaker was confirmed here. Show you. We swept London low and we tapped into a 4-hour fair value gap. This is our 5-minute bullish breaker, which we looks like we just tapped into right here. And now we can see that push up. Same thing on a 1-minute. This is our 1-minute bullish breaker. It was confirmed with the 8:30 news candle. We've come back to mitigate the equilibrium of London's range. And now we've created our 8 o'clock open range, which is from here to here. And we've also come into the midpoint of that, and we could see some push out of this. We could totally disrespect these bearish fair value gaps and go on to take out the London high as well as the high from yesterday session. So my trade idea was to let price come to this level and take a long. I'm sorry, after we confirm this during the macro, we retrace back into the equilibrium of the range. And my trade idea was to go long into London's open. But we do have 9:30 open coming. So, and we're in the middle of a range. I really don't like trading in the middle of a range. Looking at the 30-second, we don't have a bearish breaker just yet. All we have are mitigation blocks. Our bearish breaker would be down here. So this was a massive candle. We could drop down even further, but even on the 5-second chart, this was one huge candle, just massive. So if you would have taken off of this swing failure once we closed below it, it would have yielded some profits, but it looks like we're pushing back up. And that's a more riskier trade. So you would have to determine your level of risk you would be willing to take if you were to take such aggressive moves. And those things come with practice. Okay. So right now we're just kind of watching. We have a few minutes. I need a couple of seconds to take care of something. So I will be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. Thank you for your patience. There's a lot going on this morning. While we wait, because Price hasn't done anything yet, do you all have any questions? Do you understand the analysis for today so far? And also, I want to point out that the Discord is done. So we are live. So feel free to join the Discord. It's free and it is in the description of this live stream. So go ahead and join. That's where I'll be updating the eval accounts. So currently we have two accounts. We're trading two accounts. I have Replicanto set up already. So the first eval that I was trading on this channel, I did not pass that. So they had a reset sale with all my funded futures. So I went ahead and purchased that. And then I ended up trading that for the first time yesterday in the PM. Thought I was recording, but seems my computer only recorded the first 12 minutes. So I don't have that, but I do have the screenshots and our P&L for the third account, which was formerly the first. So now we have two accounts, eval 2 and 3, that we're working on concurrently. And I have been I'll update that not only here on the YouTube channel and in our community posts on YouTube, but also in the Discord. So as you guys are joining us, welcome and thank you for being here. Good morning, Robin. If you all could remember to like the live stream, share with other traders, um, subscribe if you have not already, and come in the chat and let me know you're here. Ask questions, comments, let us know your trading style, how long you've been trading, and just things that you would like to share. I don't talk the entire time during the live stream. I just focus on price and I answer questions or speak when I need to. So if you want to listen to your favorite tunes while the live stream is going on, feel free to do that. I just prefer no noise or distractions so that I can focus. So we're still in the equilibrium of the London and so far the New York open range. We're just kind of coasting here. Our breaker on the 1 minute won't be confirmed until we get a close below this level, and that's for the 1 minute as well as the 5 minute. So right now, the order flow is still pretty bullish. Our last confirmed breaker blocks are bullish, so I wouldn't mind taking long trades. My trade idea is to go into this London high, and I want to see at 9:30 what we do. Um, Looks like we've confirmed this as a bullish order block. So at 9:30, we could dip back into this to take us to the London high, but we have to wait and see. Sometimes you can get into a trade early, but then you run the risk of getting slipped or manipulated during the um, 9:30 open. So you just want to be mindful of that. And currently, the dollar and the indices are all um, kind of in the same middle range, equilibrium of its range. Dollar made a significant move down, while ES made significant moves up. Actually, let's do something here. So now we can start looking uh, at it together. So this is what dollar did during the news driver down and yes. So so now we're making bullish momentum back up. We have a bullish order block that was confirmed on this candle here. We could see a dip back into that, or it could just leave us. But I'll be patient. I'll wait till 9:30 to see what price does. At 9:30, I am looking for confirmation of. I'm sorry. I'm looking for confirmation of a order block, breaker block, or return to the already confirmed order block or breaker block. That's what I look for after 9:30, and I also look for that at 10 o'clock. Our draw on liquidity, we have draws on liquidity to the upside as well as the downside because we're kind of bouncing in between the daily bearish fair value gap and bullish 4 hour and 1 hour fair value gaps. We're currently sitting on the 1 hour, we're currently sitting inside of this 1 hour fair value gap. Now let's look at the 1 hour candle before us and see if we've mitigated the long wick, the mean threshold of it. So we have done that. And then we know that wicks are gaps too. So if we were to take our fib, this would be the mean threshold of this wick here on the 8 to 9 o'clock candle. So price could reject from this area here, or we can continue on to take out the London high. So currently, we're just going to watch order flow and see what happens. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. As you are joining, please like, subscribe, and share the stream. Don't forget to join the Discord so you can keep track of what we're doing. Yes, XMT, I definitely recommend learning first, back testing, and then live testing, trading, and demo. Um, and then going from there. Did you guys just hear some beeping? I just heard something. I don't know what that means. Let's see. No, I don't know. That was weird. I'm getting some sounds from somewhere, but not sure where it's coming from. Sorry, guys. So anyways, looks like price is gonna go ahead and push up. But we're in this fair value gap. We'll see. I want to see what the 9:30 does. Keep in mind, this is our last confirmed order block, and now we have this order block. If we're going to go higher, ideally, I would like to see price come into this zone here to take us higher. Mitigate this bullish order block and continue on into our session high. Now, let me point out too, right here where the London high is also the daily bearish order block. This right here. That series of up close candles, when we close below that and confirm this as a bearish order block, this is exactly where our London high is. Okay. So price could, it already came up here to make the London high, but we can revisit that and then head down toward the midnight open, new day opening gap, the mean threshold of yesterday's candle, as well as the previous day low. So let's keep all of that in mind. Uh, you're tracking price, you just want to have a good idea of what price can do. I'm sorry, Chris, what didn't you hear? Hi, Bella. Good morning. You said that you are new to trading, and how do you tell an order block versus a breaker block? Okay. Let's do this real quick. Hmm. Oh, you didn't hear the beeping. Okay. I think it lets me know when I get a new subscriber or something. No, no, not really sure, but thank you all. I appreciate you all for being here. So, an order block, and there's higher probability order blocks and lower probability order blocks. The best order blocks are those that take liquidity. So right here, when these series of down close candles came into this area, we not only took the London low, but we also hit the midpoint of a 4-hour fair value gap right here. Okay. So anytime you're taking higher time frame liquidity, and for me, that's 1 hour and above, but everyone else is different. So these series of down close candles, once price closes above that, that confirms a bullish order block. I'll map that out for you. Now I'm going to map out and show you the difference between an order block and a breaker block. So these down close candles are a bullish order block once it's closed above, and it also serves as a change in the state of delivery where we were having sell side delivery. Now, after this candle closed, this confirmed that we are now no longer in a sell program, we're now in a buy program. And our target would be this high and these highs up here. Sell to buy once you have a change in the state of delivery. So my assumption is that we're going to continue on going higher. Okay. Now, what is a breaker block? A bullish breaker block is the last up close candle before it dropped into liquidity. Okay. So this candle, and you can even use this candle. This would be, I like to use institutional swing points. So this up close candle here, this is our bullish breaker. Bullish breaker blocks are the highest probability entry model per ICT. Okay. So sorry, I meant to put bullish. So basically, when price closed below this down close candle, this became a bearish order block. And then when price closed above it, it became a bullish breaker. A breaker is just a failed order block. So if we were going to continue lower, when price came into this bearish order block, it should have rejected down if we were going to continue lower. But because we didn't and we closed above it, we not only confirmed a change in the state of delivery with the up close candles, this order block here, but we also confirmed a bullish breaker block. Now, this stands and the order flow is still bullish until you get an opposing breaker. Now we've come into not only a daily fair value gap, but some other higher time frame liquidity pools. If we get a close below this level, that will confirm a bearish breaker. But because this candle is so large, we've only mitigated the mean threshold of it. Price loves to balance imbalances. When we had all this buy side activity, Price needed to come and at least mitigate half of that or, give the sellers an opportunity to get into this. And now we're going to push up into the high. Once we hit another higher time frame liquidity pool, like a session high, we restart looking for our breaker blocks and our changes in state of delivery. So how do we know if price is going to reverse or continue once we get to this level? When we get here, if we continue to make bullish order blocks and continue to use those order blocks as resistance to push us higher, then we know we're going to continue on to the next higher levels. If we break down with some decisive movement and start making a bearish breaker block, then we know we want to come back into the range and or surpass it. How do you know when to get out? You just follow your order blocks and your breaker blocks. I hope that makes sense. And if not, let me know and I'll try to explain it a little bit differently. But be sure to join the Discord because I put a series of videos that I want you guys to watch um, in order so that you all can get a better understanding of how I trade and what I look for. These are not my videos, but videos by other YouTubers who have done this before. Now it's 9:30, so we want to give price an opportunity to do what it does and see what we're getting. We're still in the middle of this range. We want to also look for our first presented fair value gap. So now we've come into this bullish order block. Seems like we're rejecting. So now let's see what we get here. I'm going to put my long position tool up just so that I have it at the ready. I also have a short position tool just to see what we get here. So now the close of this candle here, we will now make a bearish order block. And at the close, if we get a close below there, we'll have a high, low, higher high, lower low. That's a bearish order block that could send us into the new day opening gap or lower. After 9:30, you want to kind of let price do what it does. Give us our first presented fair value gap and see how price is respecting and or disrespecting that and go from there. Mm. So we confirmed a bearish order block, a bearish breaker within this range. And so now price may want to continue further down. It has all these up close candles can be considered a bearish order block. And price may want to tap back into the bullish breaker here and show some signs of rejection. But let's see, because we closed it. Now we're pushing back into the range. This is kind of like yesterday where you don't want to count this as the first presented because it has to be the candle after 9:30. So we want to wait for another fair value gap to be confirmed. We wouldn't consider that our first presented fair value gap according to ICT. Give price a minute to equalize itself. We're still in the middle of this range. Now, if we close above this, we'll have a low, high, lower low, higher high, which could send us up. You um, problem or the trouble with um, trading every breaker block is because you're going to have a lot of them, especially on the lower time frames, and they will fail you a lot sometimes. So you want those breakers that form from higher time frame liquidity sweeps. Those are the higher probability ones. Now we're inside this fair value gap, and we may close that out. I don't know if we'll have much of a fair value gap here. We'll see. Okay. This is our first presented fair value gap here. Let's see how price reacts to that. Will we get a tap back into it or not? Will we come back into it and use it as support? This is a bearish order block. If we close above that, we could be um, disrespecting it. Close above this will be our bullish breaker. It is an inter-range breaker, so it's not as I don't use it. It's not as strong for me. First presented fair value gap could be a breakaway gap, and we just come back into the um, this fair value gap here to go higher. Close above this candle here will confirm a bullish order block as well as an inter-range breaker. So we did get that close. I want to see if we can get a pullback into this range. Morning, Rodrigo. Welcome and thank you for joining us. We're also in the mean threshold of the previous hour's candle. My stop loss, I can only use 5 contracts. I would like a pullback. But we're not really getting that. at the 30-second. Earned another. Let's see. We're back into that one. Now let's see here. I want us to come down. All right, let's see. See how far we want to come back down into this level. The order block's been mitigated already. Okay, we just tapped it. Going long in that order block there. Price does have a right to come back into this zone. So I'm trying to get a better entry, but we'll see. Well, this is our London high. We could reject from there. And if we do that, I want to make sure to capture something. You want to pay yourself. So I'll take 3 off there, and the other 2 I'll let run. Just tap back into this bullish order block here. And the session high is there. I kind of like to put my TP a little bit before the target. We're coming back into this order block. Now this order block here, the main threshold, let's get that, is here. My stop loss would need to be below this first presented fair value gap. And this is for me, it's a continuation trade. So that's not my A plus setup. As far as how I normally trade, I like reversals, but I am challenging myself to get more comfortable with taking those types of trades. So if it doesn't work out, I'll just reset once we take another external range liquidity pool and get back in. So let's see how this works out. On the 5 minute, we confirmed a bullish order block. The main threshold is here. So my stop is out of the way. Price should not come all the way back down here, but again, we can do whatever it wants to do. So we just have to see. Inside this bullish order block here. We're now on a 30-second. We're creating some bearish fair value gaps and we are pushing back down. So at the close of this candle, if we close below that, that'll be a 30-second bearish breaker. That's within the range. But we also have this bullish order block. So we'll see which one gets respected versus disrespected. My first presented fair value gap should serve as a breakaway gap, and price should not come any further than here if we are truly bullish. We're almost coming into the macro, which is a manipulation time. So price could definitely come down here and then push up, or push up and then come down. So we just watch and see. See, it's not looking great. But let's see if this will reject us back up. Okay, and I'm stopped out. So that was a loss. It's here. Now let's go back and revisit inside this fair value gap first presented. Let's see if we're gonna close it out, use it as support, and then continue lower. We have a high, low, higher high. This will be another interrange breaking block here. We respected this fair value gap I first presented. Maybe my stop was too low, but honestly, I was over my threshold. I didn't even want to lose that much. I should have stopped it right at the $400 mark. So Let's see if we invert these fair value gaps to continue higher. I'm looking at the 5 minute. Oh, you know what? I'm just noticing. Hold on. Okay. So only one, I thought both accounts was being traded, but it looks like only one uh was picked up on Replicanto. So I guess that's a good thing. Let's go back. Okay. Let me see. Excuse me. So this was a loss of $640. I only have 1 to 2 more trades, and they cannot, uh, the stop loss cannot be more than $550. So now my next move has to be the best move, or this account will be over with for the day. We are inside of the macro until 10:10. So risky trades for me are those that occur in the middle of a range. If we haven't taken the high or the low, if you're taking trades in the middle, you this is kind of what you could get, some consolidation. And even though you may feel or think that price is going to go to this target, it can and it will, but you never know when. So for me, with this particular trade, I should have definitely reduced the risk to like 2 to 3 micros instead of 5. And I didn't do that. So it looks like we're coming outside of this first presented fair value gap. We closed below it and is now off the screen. So will we use this as support to take us into the new day opening gap, which is here? And remember, we have a high, low, higher high, lower low. Um, so close below that could send us down. Yes. You also want to, like this high here, we didn't take it. Um, we got close. We didn't take it. And we're back at this 1 minute bullish breaker. So I want to see how we react here because yesterday we tapped into it, bounced back up, came back down, tapped into it again, and kept bouncing back up. We never disrespected it. But if we get a close below this level, that will be our bearish breaker on the 1 minute. But you also have to keep in mind that we also have the consequent encroachment of a 1 hour and a bullish 1 hour breaker here. So that could stop price right in its tracks and send it back up. So when you have a lot of different things nestled inside, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm wondering why my alerts are off. The timing is off, seems like. Let's see here. And then we have 5 minutes till our 10 o'clock silver bullet. So hopefully that'll let us know which way price wants to go. We're back inside this bearish order block slash breaker. So we took this high here, and I want to see what did ES do. We made a high, lower high, higher high, and ES made a high, lower. So we have S&T there. I'm not an S&T expert, so I don't, know how much is heavily weighted in my trading plan, but I do look at it. Seems like we're continuing to reject down. If we are going to be bearish, we should not come back above this first presented fair value gap. We're making lower lows. So we're back at the 1 hour, I'm sorry, the 1 minute bullish breaker that sent price up prior to the news driver. What confirmed after the news driver. We have 1 minute till 10 o'clock. We just took the new day opening gap. was our 8:30 open, 9:30 open. We're below the midnight open right now. This was probably our good short here. And let's see if this bullish breaker is respected or disrespected and confirm a bearish breaker. Keep in mind, we are inside. I'll show you here on the 1 hour. We're inside a bullish 1 hour fair value gap and a 4 hour bullish fair value gap. So we have these below us, as well as the 1 hour bullish breaker that sent price up. So we could come here and then continue to bounce up. And it is now 10 o'clock is our silver bullet hour. Let's see how our retracements are going. So far, price came up. We are now in the 75% retracement zone. So let's see after 10 o'clock, do we confirm order blocks, tap back into order blocks, or do we confirm breaker blocks and or tap back into those breaker blocks? So far at 10, we tapped into this 1 minute bullish breaker. We can take the new day opening gap off now that we've mitigated that. Close above here will be a low, high, lower low, higher high. That will be an inter-range breaker block to the upside. But those are not as high a probability as if we was to sweep low and come into this fair value gap. I'm looking at ES as well. ES is doing the same thing. Haven't taken any different levels, and the dollar is coming down as well, as you can see here. Bearish order block. Close above that will be a disrespect of that. Let's look at the 5 minute and see where our next order blocks are. I'm going to move the execution labels off so we can see a little better. Now let's look here. We confirmed bearish order block here. Price could retrace into that and come back down, or we would disrespect it. So far, it's coming back into this bullish order block zone here. And let's see if we get a rejection back down before we close it. I want to take this time to thank you guys for joining and being here. If you would be so kind as to like the live stream, share, comment, subscribe, let us know that you're here. If you want to let us know your trading style, how long you've been trading, things you may need help with, or things you feel you've mastered. So far, we have rejection off of this bullish 1 minute breaker. On the 5 minute, price can come up into the zone here. So we did not confirm a bearish breaker from the higher time frame sweep. We're kind of just going back and forth, starting to look a little bit like yesterday, where we're not taking any major liquidity from a session high or a low. Okay, we've created a 1 minute interrange breaker here. So now this serves as a change in state of delivery. It could just be manipulation during the macro. We have 3 more minutes. So it could be a pullback into this area to come back down. We're back at the first percent fair value gap. Um, okay, so this is what I wanted to ask you guys. I think I asked this the other day. What is your understanding of this first presented fair value gap and what is it supposed to actually do? I've seen many days where we close below it, close back above it, close below. It's like, what's the purpose? I do mark it out, and some days it'll hit and continue on. But then, like yesterday and today, we're back and forth, back and forth. So I'm not really sure how that works with framing any type of confluence or bias. But if you guys have any idea or can provide clarity for us, please put it in the chat. Let's look at our last 1 hour candle. So our 8 to 10 o'clock candle, I want to find the mean threshold of that. That's here. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I want to also measure out this wick. I'll change it to a different color. Okay. So far we've mitigated the mean threshold of our previous hour candle. We're back above the first presented fair value gap. And this here is the mean threshold of the previous hour candle wick. It made a large wick. Wicks are gaps. It also lines up with this volume imbalance. And we created a interrange breaker block. So at 10 o'clock, we tapped into the bullish breaker that sent price up initially. That was confirmed with the news wick candle. I'm sorry, the news candle. We've created a bullish breaker block, a bullish breaker, a bullish order block. We have not gotten a tap back into it yet, but we're just pushing up. Coming back into the first presented fair value gap. I want to see if we use this as resistance to push us higher. The bearish order block is getting disrespected. Mhm. Now we're at the mean threshold of the wick from the previous hour's candle. Our macro has ended. And so for our silver bullet, we closed 75% of the range. Almost. Let's see. This is our high. We're right at the 75%. I want to see us pull back a little bit before going higher, but we may not get that. We have created bullish order blocks to the upside. And then we have this consolidation here. I want to take another risky trade, so I'm just going to wait till we hit this session high, which also is a 1 hour high. Then we have another one here, and we have some bearish fair value gaps that we could target. On the 1 hour, the high of the market maker buy model rests right here around 372. This was a nice push up, and now we see some sort of manipulation. Price can come back into this order block or this one. So let's see. We tap the mean threshold of that wick from the previous hour's candle. Close above this candle will become another bullish order block. Your stop would need to go below the low, and you could target the session high. We're digging into these bullish fair value gaps. On the 5 minute, we have bearish order block, but we did not get a body to close over that. We just wicked into it. This is a key area we want to watch. See if we get a body to close over it to take us higher, or are we going to reject from this volume imbalance and come back down? And if you notice what we're doing, we're going up to the middle, back up, coming down, but we're not taking any highs. So in that case, we're just basically consolidating. And I really don't like consolidation because you can trade it, but you have to just know when to get in and when to get out. Now close below this 1 minute candle will confirm a bearish order block. Now what is price doing? It could be coming back to this fair value gap to push higher. If we invert it, we could go lower. So it's playing both sides of the range, not really doing much. And I don't have the room to take any more of these more risky trades. I have to wait for an A plus setup. Have any of you guys found any good setups this morning? My first attempt failed, so I'm going to wait and see if I can find something else. But I know that everyone sees the market differently, and maybe you were able to catch some the move down or either the move up. So let me know in the chat. So if we are consolidating, we move up, come back to the midpoint of the range, move down, come back into the midpoint of the range. So the midpoint right now is roughly here, right where price is now. Let's see if we get some rejection up or if we continue to plummet. Right back here at this breaker, enter range breaker that took us up after we hit the main breaker block at 10 o'clock. And we also tap back into this bullish order block. So I'm kind of willing to risk $150, but this is not an A plus setup. So I said I wanted to wait. We're just ranging. It's not really giving us a lot. For some reason, my alerts are off on the time chart. I'm not really sure why this is. I'm gonna have to talk to TradingView about that. Are there any questions or comments while we wait for price to show its hand? Well, it's coming up to 10:30, so we have like another hour for the live stream. ES took its London high during the news driver, whereas NQ did not. ES also rejected from its 1 minute bullish breaker after pulling back into it. And it's doing the same thing, just pretty much ranging. So far, we're still respecting this bullish order block and this change in the state of delivery here. We're just in a range consolidating here. The 1 hour, excuse me, the 1 hour, we're just wicking through this 1 hour fair value gap, but we're not putting any bodies over it. And we're also inside a bullish 1 and 4 hour fair value gap. And no bodies have been closed below the consequent encroachment. So this is just consolidation. We have a high and a low, but all of this is just consolidating. So we don't have any decisive movement in or out of this range. And I'm not sure if it's going to be like that all day. I just know that that's what's happening right now. So we're back inside of this order block. Now let's see. We tap this 1 minute bullish breaker here and reject again. This will be exactly like yesterday's stream. Not taking a London high, not taking a low, and just bouncing back and forth. So far, the bodies are respecting this bullish order block here. I'm sorry, let me move it out the way. This bullish order block here. We have another one here that gave us the change in the state of delivery, and this will be the mean threshold of that order block. So what we're noticing is price is making bearish order blocks, confirming bearish order blocks. After we closed below here, we had a change in the state of delivery. And this is just on the 1 minute. It wasn't that we took any liquidity because we didn't. But when you start making bullish order blocks and then start making bearish order blocks, you change the state and delivery. And that could be just a pull back into a key level like a fair value gap, or it could be a full on reversal. You just really never know, which is one of the reasons why continuation trades are a little bit more trickier because that order flow can change at any time. And I think that we're just consolidating. So far, our price is respecting this order block, but if we get a close below this low here, that will uh, create a bearish breaker. We'll have a high, a low, a higher, higher, then we'll have a lower low, and that will be within the range. We still haven't hit the external range. This will be our higher probability bearish breaker. However, again, we will be running into some higher time frame liquidity that could propel price back up. And it could just be a ping pong back and forth all day. So we'll see. We're coming back toward this 1 minute bullish breaker that sent price up and was confirmed on our 8:30 news candle. So days like this is hard to watch because we're really not doing much. Um, you could take a trade here and you get stopped out. You could take a trade short and it can reverse on you. So it's lower probability, definitely. But to Bella, I wanted to point out these order blocks and the change in the state of delivery and how we make breaker blocks in between the range. And they do work sometimes, like this gives you 77 handles. But if you were holding to get to the high or the London high, you would have, it would have pulled back on you. So knowing when to get out would be ideal. And you can watch order blocks and breakers for that. Okay, so looks like we're gonna tap back into this 1 minute bullish breaker. I want to see if we respect or disrespect that. And I'll map out the mean threshold of the breaker so we can see. Seem to type today. Okay, so we're just respecting the mean threshold of this bullish breaker, and looks like we're gonna create a bearish breaker. So on the 5 minute, this is these are the lowest down close candles before we swept liquidity up here. So now we've come down. Let's see if we confirm it or not. Our close above here would be a low, high, lower, low, higher, high, and that could push us back up. Where could that push us back up to? We have this confirmed bearish order block here, and the mean threshold is right at the previous day high. So price could come to mitigate this. We're already inside of it, and we can also uh, retrace that. Now let's see if we create a breaker here. So as you can see, we're going high, low, lower, high, lower, low. We're just kind of not doing much. Still within this dealing range, low to high. So it could be a slow grind down, or we could revert up. We don't know. We'll have to see. It is 10:41. We have our 10:50 to 11:10 macro. That's usually a profit taking hour. So let's see who's been making money all day. We know that price shot up. We have some stop orders here. Then we started to come down. So above all of these highs, we have some orders resting there, some liquidity. These relative equal highs, like all of this is engineered liquidity. And we just took this low, but we have not taken this main low, and we have not tapped into the mean threshold of this fair value gap. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. So we took the previous hour's low. We have dipped into the mean threshold of this 4 hour fair value gap. We have another 1 hour down here. Let's see something. When was this created? Okay. So we've already mitigated it, came back into it again. And we're just in between the daily fair value gap and the 4 hour. There's also some 1 hour fair value gaps nestled in here. But if we're looking at the higher time frame, that's what we are. Bouncing between bearish PD arrays and bullish PD arrays. No real decisive movement out of this range. All right, so we have another breaker. We've confirmed this bullish order block, which is a change in the state of delivery. And price could retrace up into this mean threshold toward the daily, previous daily high in the midnight open. Bring the chart in a little bit more for you. So we did not disrespect the bullish breaker. We've tapped it once, twice, just like yesterday. So we have a tap back into this breaker. Now, do we want to go higher? Where could it go? It can come up into this zone and retrace back down, or we can flip and go higher. But we have not taken our external high or low. It's a pretty boring session. But I'm hoping you guys can see how these order blocks are being formed, as well as the little breakers that form too. Okay, we're digging into the mean point of the midpoint of this order block. And we have 4 minutes to the macro. The macro times, which are 10 minutes before the hour till 10 minutes after, usually provide some sort of manipulation and kind of show its hand about which way or direction the price wants to go. So let's see what we're going to do here. We have 1 minute to our 10:10 macro. I'm sorry, 10:50, the 11:10 macro. And this is the consequent encroachment of a 1-hour fair value gap and a 1-hour bullish breaker that sent price up on the 1-hour time frame. Below that, we have our mean threshold of yesterday's candle, another 1-hour fair value gap, as well as a session low. So we have some higher time frame targets to the downside. We didn't get a close below just yet. But we did tap into the consequent encroachment of that 1-hour fair value gap. So now I'm watching for any bullish breakers to be confirmed, which be here if we start to reverse up. So shorts have been pretty much making money so far since 8:30. This is now coming into our London close macro. So price may want to mitigate some of these orders. 30-second breaker be here. 15-second, 5-second. Yes has not taken its session low yet. We have swept this, but we didn't confirm a bearish breaker just yet, nor did we confirm a bullish breaker. If we go below this low, our 1 minute bullish breaker would need to be adjusted to this candle's high. But for now, it's right here. And our change in state of delivery will be here instead of here. So note we did tap into a higher time frame level of liquidity, which is a 1 hour mean threshold of a 1 hour fair value gap. That could cause a reversal, or we could get a continuation. If we close below these up close candles, that would become a bearish order block. If we close below this low with a body, that will give us a bearish breaker. If we want to continue lower, we have the bullish 1 hour breaker here, and then we have a mean threshold of yesterday's candle sitting around 861. So this whole Newsweek push up has been mitigated completely. Price failed to take out the high, and we just kept making lower highs. And I want to thank you all who are tuning in. If you could please subscribe, like, and share, as well as come in the comments. Let me know you're here. Let me know your trading style, how long you've been trading, what some of your goals for 2025 as it relates to trading and or just personal. If it's your psychology, if it's your patience, etc. We have about 30 more minutes. We seem to be having trouble getting a body to close below this low here to confirm a bearish breaker. So part of my reversal checklist is the sweep of higher time frame liquidity, which we just did. Do we invert this fair value gap? Do we create a change in state of delivery? And then do we create a bullish breaker to go to the upside? Other than that, once this is confirmed, I want to see us make bearish order blocks, tap into those order blocks, respect them, and continue down. That would be a continuation trade. And so for me, continuation trades are not my A plus setup. It's more like a B setup. And so I have to reduce my risk, which is what I didn't do during this trade. I was about 2 contracts over. I should have not had more than 3 contracts on a continuation trade. We just tapped the 1 hour bullish breaker. I'll show that to you right now. So we had a low, high, lower, low, higher, high. We closed here. The high of this candle is the bullish breaker that sent price up into the daily fair value gap. We retrace back to it. So this could send price up, or we could dig into the mean threshold of this. We could disrespect it and come down into this 1 hour fair value gap. So those are our possibilities of where price could go. Now let's see. We do have a confirmed bearish breaker here on the 1 minute. I want to see if we get one on the 5 minute. They were both in the same area. And we did. We got to close below that. So I'll be comfortable taking shorts. I just really want to reduce my risk here. I want us to pull back into this range. We confirmed. I'm sorry, what is happening? Excuse me. We confirmed a bearish order block. We've come back into it. We've created a fair value gap here. Don't risk no more than $150 on this. It's probably gonna run off and leave me. Yep. Oh, bye. Here we go. I don't know what's happening, why this is moving around like that. Come on, pull back for me. We have 7 minutes until the macro is over. So what I don't want to do is go short and then after 3 minutes we start aggressively pushing higher. I'm gonna adjust our bullish breaker. Probably leave it there. I want to get a closer look. Okay. I'll use these up close candles as my high. And price is running without me. All right, so let's see what we get at the mean threshold here. We've got 10:45 p.m. candle. Usually, okay, let's see. Yes, has taken its 1 and 4 hour consequent encroachment of its fair value gap. It's tapped into a new week opening gap. Mhm. Also, the -2 standard deviation. So it's pushing up. Looks like we may see a push up as well. So in the 1 minute, these are the down close candles that swap liquidity. A close above those will give us a change in the state of delivery. And then our highest up close candle. We do have an up close candle here, but it's very small. So I would trust this as our 1 minute bullish breaker. On a 30-second, now on the lower time frame, like the 5 second, we already have bullish breaker that was confirmed here. And so far, it looks like price is pushing up. We have 2 more minutes before our macro ends. So I want to see what happens after that. Is this just manipulation down to go higher? I'm also keeping an eye out for ES, see any signs of reversals. The dollar is steadily pushing down on the 1 minute. So we've created a bullish fair value gap here. We're inside of this bearish fair value gap that sent price down. Get a close above that, as well as this change in the state of delivery. It'll be 3 failed PD arrays. Also mapping, excuse me, I'm also mapping out how much risk I would need to take. Looks like about $250 to $260 if I do 2 micros. We still have this daily target below. We have actually three. And so far, our order flow is still bearish. We have not had a flip on the 1 minute yet. Our macro is over. We have a 5-minute bearish order block around 9:54. So price could, this was confirmed at the close of these candles. Price could come back, tap into our bearish breaker and send us down further. So I want to see what happens first. Do we confirm a bullish breaker, change in the state of delivery, or are we going to continue down into the mean threshold? We inverted one bearish fair value gap. We have another one here as well as a bearish volume imbalance. And we created a bullish fair value gap. So now will this be respected and send us higher, or are we going to continue down? Is what we need to see. The macro is over and we have about 20 more minutes before we get to 11:30. And while we are watching price to see what it actually wants to do, let's review our loss here. So I was taking a continuation trade because I believed that we were going to the London high. And I entered as price was coming back into this bullish order block. And we got up uh, around here. Then we started to reverse back down. What was permissible was for us to come into the mean threshold of this order block, this bullish order block. Price is allowed to do that, which also lined up with the mean threshold of the first fair value gap. So price did, it came into this and started rejecting and then went out. But then it closed out this, it closed past the first presented fair value gap. And that's where it stopped me out. Now, not bad as far as stop loss placement, because if price was going to continue higher, it should have stopped at the mean threshold and then went up. Where I went wrong is I had 5 micros on instead of the 3 for continuation trades. Had I had the 3 on, I would not have went over my $400 per trade, my $300 to $400 per trade maximum. So with $640, I'm basically with $1,200 in drawdown per day. That gives you 4 $300 trades or 3 $400 stop loss trades, right? So now I'm basically down 2 bullets, and I have maybe 2 more, or at least one at $400 max. So my next trade needs to be an A plus trade. So that's where I went wrong. The stop loss wasn't bad, uh, but the micros I used. And I was looking at my table for where I thought I was going to have my original stop loss. And when I didn't get that fill, I waited a little too long. I didn't adjust that. Kept it at 5 instead of going to 3. So that's where I went wrong with this particular trade. The number of micros that I allowed to be used. And I could have cut it early, and maybe I should have because it didn't work out in my favor. But we made money on the account the day before or the first day. So our drawdown now is $150 total. So if I make $150 back today or more, then we'll be back in the green on the account. And then we just have to work on getting back our gains that we lost. But I don't like to think like that because you don't want to revenge trade and you don't want to quote unquote get your money back. What you want to do is just look for the next high probability trade and take that, manage your risk. And if you know, excuse me, guys, one moment. Sorry about that. If you know that the trade is a high probability trade and you're managing your risk and your stop loss is in a good place and you're not over leveraged, then it's okay if it doesn't work out because every trade won't work out. You won't win 100% of the time, but managing your loss or your risk is key. So right now we're just consolidating. We did just take a higher time frame low. So we're pretty much consolidating. Price dips below this low, then our bullish breaker will become here, which I would like to see because it's much better than being way up here. And that way I can have a smaller stop loss and it would need to go under this low. So this is just some consolidation. So we're either going to see a push into this mean threshold and these session lows and another fair value gap below. You can see it here on the 1 hour. So far today, during this session, we dug back into the bearish fair value gap above and into this 1 hour bearish fair value gap, and now into a 4 and 1 hour. And it looks like if we close below this, we'll close out this 1 and 4 hour fair value gap. And we could dig back into this 1 hour fair value gap that we hit the mean threshold of it before back on January or yesterday. We dug into it and we rejected out of it. So we could possibly come back to revisit it again and go ahead and close it out. Also mark out the top of it. Sometimes you may get a institutional order flow entry drill where price just taps the top of the fair value gap and continues higher. And then I like to know when we close it out as well. I've started keeping track of that. So when we have a low, a high, and a higher high, a higher low and another lower high, if we get above this area here, I call that a swing failure pattern breaker. Those those work a lot too. It's really a mitigation block. Um, but you know, I refer to things the way that I can remember it and that makes sense to me. So if we get above there, I wouldn't mind going long. I would need to have no more than 225 to 250 dollars worth of risk. I'm gonna risk $400, then that would be about 4 contracts, and if I'm gonna risk $300, that would be about 2 to 3 contracts. So let's see what happens. Give me one moment, I'll be right back. And I am back. I'm gonna confirm a close above this swing failure thing, mitigation block. I call it a swing failure breaker, SFP breaker. This was my optimal entry here. Um, I missed it. So I want to put a body over this. We rejected out of this bearish fair value gap. We're kind of consolidating. So I just want to see what we're going to do here. Come into this zone. This should be a breakaway gap. We tapped the top of that already. I'm going to go along with 4 contracts. I don't know why it took so long to fill my order. Take 2 off at this high. Another 2 there. Confirmed a bullish order block here. We're inside this 15-minute fair value gap. Take a first partial here at the rejection block or the, yeah, call it rejection block. I've been having trouble with my recording, my on-screen recording. Not sure why. It's just not doing it. Is it doing it? Okay, it seems like it's doing it. Hmm. So our 3 failed PD arrays will be this fair value gap, this fair value gap, and this order block. I am giving it to this. So with about $280 worth of risk on, just a little bit under $300. If this does not work out and I am stopped out, that will be my 3. I'll actually just put it under this low here. That will be my 3, um, my 2 losses for the day, and I'll have to stop. I'm gonna also map out the mean threshold of this wick as a place where a price could come to. And we do not have a confirmed 1-minute bullish breaker just yet, I don't think, but we did have a swing failure breaker that I use. And in my back testing, it pretty much holds, it pretty much holds up. So let's see here. The stop loss needs to be at 200. Where's that? 25. All right. So we blew through those. That sucks. We're in this bullish order block here. And that's this is my last attempt for the day. This account. I have another account and I thought that they were trading together, but I'm glad that to see that it wasn't actually traded together. We did get a slight close above this up close candle here. Not really, but we rejected out of there. So we're not out the woods yet, but I'm gonna hold and let it do what it's gonna do. It could be rejecting out of this 15-minute bearish fair value gap to go lower. And we do have a lot of sell side below us. um, excuse me, on the 5 minute, we did tap back into that 5 minute bearish order block, which also was aligned with the 15-minute fair value gap. So it doesn't look like price may want to do the London close macro reversal yet, and it's after 11:30. So I'll stay on to see what happens with this trade, whether we're going to be successful or not. But this is my last attempt for the day because then I'll be at two losses. And if you have two losses in a row, you have to stop. Those are the rules. So while we wait for this to show its hand, are there any questions? If not, I want to thank you guys for uh, joining me today. Just a little lackluster for as movement and excitement. Um, but you're gonna have days like this in trading, so you can't take it personally. You just follow your rules, your guidelines, what you understand, and you go from there. Tomorrow is another trading day, or even later uh, if you have the capital to do that. So you know, don't feel rushed. Don't feel upset or embarrassed about losses because they're going to happen. It's the cost of doing business. If you have a solid trading plan, then you know that you could, potentially make that money back. So just, follow your rules. As long as you're following your rules, you'll be okay. But again, thanks all of you who are tuned in. If you could please subscribe, like the live stream so that others can find us. Um, Join the Discord. The link is in the description of this stream, as well as leave a comment, introduce yourself. I would love to connect with you. Typically, I would be signing off here, but since we're in a trade, I'll go ahead and let it play out and see what happens. But if this does not work out, I won't be trading this account again today. I'll wait till tomorrow. I do have another evaluation, and if I find a good setup during the PM, I'll take it. If not, I won't worry about it. Today was difficult, only because we are just ranging. I probably should have gotten in before the session started, but I didn't get to my desk till right at 8:30, and by that time, that candle had printed, and it was already 5-second candle had did the entire move. So yeah, that was nice. But after that, there was no other news drivers, and then 9:30 just basically manipulated up, down, back and forth. So yeah, definitely. Today was kind of like yesterday, in that, excuse me, I don't like trading within the ranges. And then sorry guys, my voice is not cooperating today. Then another thing that we have to consider is that we are at the mercy of time. You have time distortion, you have price being held up. So we may wait to the lunch macro, and the lunch macro could sweep this low and then move up, or it'll go ahead and push up. I don't know. But either way, I am going to hold. And if I'm stopped out, I'm stopped out. That will be, excuse me, that will be my 2 trades for the day. I want to make sure I calculated this correctly. Stop is below the mean threshold of this wick. So, but we're showing a lot of bearish rejection out of this 15-minute fair value gap as well as this one. So that could be the end of me. This is the mean threshold right there. Watching dollar and ES dollar is pushing up. It has created a bullish breaker, so this doesn't look good for me. But I'm gonna leave it just where it is, and we'll see. So far, the body's respected the mean threshold of that wick. I would love to see us invert this bearish fair value gap and continue higher. But if not, then we'll call it. Looks like we're rejecting out of that. And there we go. All right, guys. So that is my 2 losses for today. Let's see, we are at, let me calculate this real quick. 1 moment. So our total drawdown is $611. Where is my, there it is. And we're back at the top of that fair value gap. Let's see here. 1102. Oh, so All right, and there we go, that main threshold. Um, so I took a swing failure breaker that we confirmed, but we did not have a bullish breaker confirmed, which would have been right here. Now it will be here. So this entry is more risky than waiting for a bullish breaker to be confirmed. Had I waited for that, I'd have known that we were going to sweep this low again. So this is the bullish breaker. If you guys are, um, you could use this up close candle, but I would want to make sure because then that'll be 1, 2, 3 to 4 failed PD arrays if you get above that. Your change in the state of delivery is if you get close above these on the 1 minute. And I'll point out the 5 minute in case you guys are still looking for a setup. But right now, order flow is still bearish and we're tapping into some more lower time frame stuff here. So this will be your bullish breaker on the 5 minute if price gets back up there. All right, guys. So I will update the Discord as well as YouTube uh, on this account. I won't be trading it again until tomorrow, unless I find something like astronomical, but I'm not gonna press it today. I have another account if I want to trade the PM session. So I think I would probably go with my bullish breaker being above here. I would leave it there. Okay, guys, before I sign off, are there any other questions um, or anything you guys want to put in the chat before we go? If not, then thank you again. Please subscribe, like, share, and join the Discord. I'm going to be updating things there as well. And we'll be back to trade this eval in the morning. If I take any trades on the other account, I will update. I'll try to record that. Right now, the recording is working. Not really sure what happened yesterday. And this morning, I thought I turned on the recording and it just disappeared. So I'm not sure if I'm not doing something right, but I'll try to make sure that I update you guys with the video as well so you can see. Okay. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you all for being here. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'll assume that we don't have any. But if you do, you can always ask in Discord or under the comment section of this live stream. All right, guys. Well, have a great rest of your day. Safe trading in the afternoon if you're going to continue to trade. And I will update our group about today's activity on eval number 2, because this was what I was trading, eval number 2. All right. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll be back on tomorrow. Thanks. Bye bye.